Nijo. Om Ashato Ma Sadgamaya Tamasho Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Avirabir Maidhi Rudro Yatte Dakshinang Mukham Te Namang Pahi Nityam Te Namang Pahi Nityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light and illumination. Lead us from death to immortality, and evermore shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are back to our reading of the Shanti Gita, and now we are in the end part of this book, 7th chapter, and we have how many verses? 7th chapter, we have 40 verses, but we are here almost half. So we will be reading today verse number 16. So what was discussed before in brief is this, that the whole universe is nothing but the consciousness. What you, I, behind this you and I, there is an eternal consciousness, sambit, awareness. All your feelings, all your emotions, all your suffering, all your pain, you feel because of that consciousness. You are feeling that you are sleeping. That understanding of sleep, there is a consciousness behind. Otherwise, how do you say, I slept well? That means there is someone who is observing your sleep. What the question of every experience in the waking state? I am seeing you, I am talking to you, I am feeling cold, I am feeling hot. Oh, I am very depressed, I am very happy. All this awareness about the relative life is possible because there is some consciousness who is observing, who is feeling this. That person, that it is not a person, some entity, that is Vedanta called the ātma. Atman and Atman is Brahman, but it's a confusion. Atman is here in the self. Brahman is the absolute everywhere. How this can be that? So here the scripture wanted to help us to make it understand that it is one. The imaginary wall of the distinction is there because of the ignorance. There is one space. We are making a distinction. It is a temple space. It is a space. How much is the room in the bookshop? Bookshop space. There is no space separate than the one space. We divide some with some wall. We create some apparent understanding about separating from the whole to a part. But space is space, absolute. So it's consciousness is the one consciousness, manifesting to me or to you or to anyone, the microbe to the gigantic dinosaur, the same consciousness behind everything. No more dinosaur though, but that consciousness behind that elephant, big tiger, big lion, the same consciousness pulsating at the back of everyone. So they gave this ultimately, that's why there is a technical discussion. It did in verse number 15, that sambit, that consciousness, saiva-hi sva-ātma, that is your Atman, and that is the Chaitanyam, and that is the consciousness. And that you know, Brahma iti nischinu, you know that is called Brahman. And that is the target of when you say, thou art that. tat-madhuraṃ, thou. Thou not the physical body, but thou means that consciousness which is permeating your whole body, mind, everything. There is nothing but one consciousness, like the space. So to give that example more understandable, but you cannot just hear it or read some book and get the experience. You cannot get it. So you have to go to a guru. That's it. Taj-jñātvā guru-vakyataḥ. By listening from an expert teacher who is practicing that way, who is convinced about the truth and who has his own experience of that reality. So that type of teacher you should have to go. Teacher, anyone can be a teacher. There is a statement, Guru mile lakh, chela na mile ek. The teachers are available in market. Hundreds and thousands of teachers. It's very rare people in the world. And you say, I am an headache. Be very careful and be. I will give one suggestion. Another on practicing. Don't. But what is the functions of the body going on? Mind is jumping, mind is happy, mind is unhappy. My understanding is clear, my understanding is not clear. What is that consciousness? What is that where I'm aware? That awareness is the absolute awareness covering the whole cosmos. So they give us example, one simple example, so that we can easily grasp it. This very subtle truth is not visible to the physical eyes, not visible through your telescope, microscope, but this is the thing, with a pure mind you can perceive it. That's why sadhana is necessary, spiritual practice is necessary. Every day, that's the problem of observing purity, observing love for others, observing selflessness, all these characteristics to be imbibed in the life, that without that, this experience will be just a few words only, and not will reveal in the hearts of the people. So that's why he says, then given an example, ghaṭākāśaḥ, mahākāśaḥ. This is a very great example. You can understand in a click that its depth and importance. Like a ghata, meaning a pot space, and the space outside, mahākāśaḥ, great space. Great space and small space in the jar space. Suppose you bring a jar here. What do we say? Oh, the jar has taken so much room, in the space is little cramped. Space is not cramped. Space is space. But the jar, what you are putting, jar space, you are imagining their division of the infinite space into two, saying it is a jar taking the space and the space outside. There is no distinction in the space itself. Jar is when put, it can be removed, it can be broken. Then what will remain? Space will remain as space. So this is a very simple example, but to understand the Vedantic truth, I think that it will be very helpful. That's why they put this idea that ghaṭākāśaḥ mahākāśaḥ ivo jānīhi ca ekatām. They know that the space in the ghata or in the jar or in the pot and the space outside, great space, eka, they're all one. Space-wise there is no distinction. But you can limit it by the wall. That wall can be broken. That wall is not strong enough to stand with the space. Space remains space forever. In the space, stars are coming, galaxies are coming, the stars are going to black hole, and then again regenerating the infinite number of stars. But this is happening. But space, what is happening in this space? We sometimes say, oh, today's sky is clouded. Sky does not get clouded. Sky is sky, yes, pure. Cloud comes, cloud goes. What does to space? Yeah? A bomb cell falls in certain place. Oh, it is so, see the devastating thing. Nothing has happened to the space. Whether you put bomb cell or you put a beautiful decoration of some deity, or you put some fire, it matters little. Space remains space. So the Atman remains untouched by anything what you put. You can put a jar. An Indian system, they put many design in the jar. A design jar, an attractive jar, or a repelling jar. Whatever you bring, space untouched by this apparent good and bad. This is a great philosophy. One can meditate on this and can understand that the consciousness in me is the same consciousness everywhere. The consciousness you is no separate from the consciousness which is in me. The same reality which is in me is the same reality in you and everywhere. The same ananda, the bliss that is here, is everywhere. But we don't understand the ananda. That's a different issue. That's a different topic to discuss. We can think. But here is the question that get it convinced that the consciousness in you is the same consciousness in everyone. Holy Mother said, no. আমার মধ্যে যিনি, তোমার মধ্যে যিনি, দুলে বাগদির মধ্যেও তিনি. Who is in me or who is in you is the same consciousness, same reality in a lower caste or ordinary person. And you are maybe society's top person. But the consciousness-wise, the reality is the same there. But that is the experience of all the realized people in the world. So, now today we read the verse number 16. And what does it say? It says, sit in such a way so that we can see your face. Otherwise, no meaning of. So he is meditating, tell him to move little. Tell him. To sit in such a way I can see you. No, you, I see you. I'm talking, move in such a way that I see you. So anyhow, 16 verse says, ghaṭākāśaḥ mahākāśaḥ ghaṭākāśu mahākāśau ivo jānīhi ekatām ivo jānīhi ekatām akhaṇḍatvaṃ bhavet aikyaṃ akhaṇḍatvaṃ bhavet aikyaṃ jñātvā brahmamayo bhavo jñātvā brahmamayo bhavo. So ghaṭākāśaḥ, the space within the jar, that's the old example. You can give more modern example, many things. A glass. You keep a glass. The space within the glass. Outside space. The space within the temple, outside the temple. Space within the bookstore, outside the bookstore. This space is only one. Ghaṭākāśaḥ mahākāśau ivo. It is like exactly ghaṭākāśaḥ, the space contained in a pitcher, and the mahākāśau, like mahākāśau, as they are same, jānīhi, know it, cha ekatām, that one, as it is one. Similarly, akhaṇḍatvaṃ bhavet aikyaṃ. Akhaṇḍatvaṃ means unbroken, continuous, all pervaded. Akhaṇḍatvaṃ bhavet aikyaṃ. This unity about, you know, that is all one. One consciousness, one Brahman, one Atman. Jānīhi jñātvā brahmamayaḥ bhava. Knowing this, you become Brahma. You feel that you are one with that absolute truth. You are that. You know, because in Vedanta, highest teaching is called the analysis of Mahavakya. Mahavakya is the great dictum, great word. Maha means great, Bhakku means the word. Because we talk small talks. That is not Maha. Maha is great, highest, biggest. We talk petty things. What has happened today? What did I eat? What shall I drive? Who has told me this thing? Every day people are talking so many things, minor worldly talks. But this is not small. It's a Maha. It's a grand statement of our real existence. Mahavakya. That's why this is called great dictum. What is the great dictum? That I am that. In comparison to this statement, everything is very filthy, very little, petty. Because everything is changing. Only that is the unchanging truth. I am that. This will change. Body is changing, mind is changing, it is changing, it's subject to change. But Atman, the consciousness, never. Look at that from childhood. Everyone remember here. People say, I am a agnostic. Agnostic are good friends of Vedanta. Because you tell me, I don't need to believe in God or sitting somewhere heaven and high. You tell me, don't you feel you are there from your childhood, till the day you born, till now? Don't you think during the sleep also you are there or you die? Every night when you are sleeping, do you die? You have some sense. That's why you say, I do not know. So that consciousness is permeating all the time. It's a proof. You don't need any belief system, any faith system. But analyze. That's why Vedanta is so appropriate for intelligent people with scientific outlook. No? You need not have to believe who is sitting in a rod in hand, you are doing something wrong, he will beat you and then put you to the hell, and hell for 5 months or hell for forever. I did something wrong. Christian hell is dangerous because they will say you do something wrong at the end of point. Say Peter will be sitting over there and book his account book and see you did it back then, go to hell. And if he says once you go to hell, bas, you are never escape from that eternal hell. I did something little bad, I will be punished for eternal life. What type of judgment is that? And you did something good job, you go for eternal heaven. Hinduism is good. You have done this much bad karma, okay, go to hell, punishment, and finish, come back after 5 days. Rigorous imprisonment for 1 month, okay, finish that, come back. You did much bigger, okay, 5 years imprisonment, then come back. But actually, you are to think that you are not limited there. This is the body-mind coming, but you're not. So this is the freedom idea, is the greatest idea in Vedanta. And it is not on belief system or this and that. Those are only for confusing our intellect to go. That means also Vedanta gives the responsibility on yourself. You did something wrong, don't do it. If you do it, you will get it. So what do? You reap. What you do, you get back that. So you think that you are Atman, you will be Atman. You think I am a poor, I am a, whatever idea you have about yourself, you will be like that. So as you think, so you become. Jadrishi bhavana jasya siddhir bhavati tadrishi. As you think about your goal and ideal, your accomplishment will be the same, your achievement will be the same. So you say, I am Atman, you become Atman. You say, I am a fool, I am an idiot, idiot you become, you are fool you become. That's the way.
They are not too different, because if I keep on thinking I am the President of the United States, that's fundamental, because I am Atman, that is essentially real and true nature. But I am poor, I am President of the United States, these are unreal and untrue. So if I meditate on the unreal thing, I will never become that. But if I think,
yeah, that's why you first have to be a student of Vedanta. So you cannot keep those ideas and read this book together. You have to give up those, then you are a student. You can enter into this classroom. Yes, those are there, but I am not. That conviction should have to come, first condition. Otherwise this talking is not for everyone. But this is at least intellectually so much, it is encouraging, it brings us bright and clear understanding. Then you can study. Because you cannot say, I am everything, I am infinite, and at the same time, oh, I am a poor guy, I am an educated person, I am a moneyed person, I am a powerful person. How are you matching with this? That's why that's why, scripture it is said, these are small talks, small identities. You have to give up the small identities. Then you can come to this point of this infinite identity. One cannot keep the identity that I am this little wave and think I am the ocean. No. Ocean idea will engulf your small idea of your wave idea. You think that you imagine that in the infinite Pacific Ocean, you are one of the wave. The wave idea is to give up. You have to go to the ocean idea. You have to go to the H2O idea. Then you are one with the cosmos. You cannot keep the wave idea, at the same time say, I am ocean. That does not work together. So, but this is a good idea. He said, akhaṇḍatvaṃ bhavet aikyaṃ. That aikyaṃ, the unity of me and the whole cosmos. There comes the idea of charity. Swamiji said, why I will be charitable? Why I shall be kind to others? If kindness, I am to sacrifice something, why shall I be? Because of this unity. You are seeing that you are separate from me. But in reality it is not. We are all one. As it's in the ocean, it is said that if you strike at one point, that vibration, though it is here, maybe severe, vibration goes. And if you have a fine instrument, you can find its effect. How do you understand the, what is called, earthquake? In the machine, you find out how much it has happened, how much is the effect. That can be understood that. So therefore, this akhaṇḍatvaṃ bhavet aikyaṃ, this aikya unity will be unbroken unity. Our unity in the life becomes momentary and disappear. No? Whom we love, I didn't know that person before. You say, yeah, we are all babies. We go to school, college, and we make many friends. No? You come, and then disperse again. But this relationship with your own consciousness is akhaṇḍa, unbroken consciousness. No one can stop. Unstoppable consciousness continuously supporting our very existence. Therefore, Brahma, knowing this, just think brahmamayaḥ, be saturated with the consciousness of Brahman. Feel that I am that Brahman. And petty thought will go away. Feel, Vedanta gives power. It immediately says, I am not that petty. Bodily I am poor. Mentally I may be weak. I am spiritually I am infinite. This is the point. Bodily I am weak. Bodily I am small. Mentally I may be weak sometime, or sometimes strong. Intellectually I may be dull, I may be good. I am ātman. That is uninterrupted consciousness. There is no up and down in that level. That therefore you be always brahmamayaḥ bhava. As if Bhagavan Krishna is blessing. O Arjuna, you be Brahman. You be saturated with Brahman consciousness. Be totally engulfed into that consciousness of this Brahman. Do that. So 16th verse, as the space within a pot and the great space are essentially one and the same, know that in undividedness should be the sameness between individual person, jiva, atman, and absolute consciousness, paramaatman. Knowing this, remain absorbed in Brahman. First intellectually know this. And then just don't leave it. Hold your mind into that consciousness. That is difficult. there comes much spiritual practice. You have to pray, you have to cry, you have to do selfless work to get the stability of the mind to remain there. I am talking all these things, but it is no impact unless it is practice. So one have to practice long to stabilize the mind in that level. Brahmamayaḥ bhava. You always feel, I am Brahman in my spirit, but bodily I may weak. All this weakness, failures, frustrations or success, they are all in material level. Vyavaharika. But paramarthika truth, the absolute truth, I am that unbroken consciousness, absolute bliss and peace. 17th verse.
But before you move there, you said like that, whatever you think you become, so you think.
That is the starting point of our spiritual journey.
That verse you quoted, it has a previous line also.
Okay.
So it doesn't say that anything you think you will become. There are conditions are like that. Mantre, trithe, dvije, deve, devoke, veshaje, and guru. These only in this same medicine. If you think like that, it will work for you, then it will work. But if you don't have faith in that, or the guru, if you don't have faith, it will not. The bhavna is associated with this condition.
Yeah.
If I think I'm poor, your being thing is not listed in that one.
But even if you think you are a poor you become. If you say I am strong, you become. Yeah, that is example because it is spiritual text they are talking about. Guru.
Everything is not to be achieved within 1 hour in this life. Vedanta gives you a karma bhava. In this life you prepare, you will also become a president. If you to become liberated is greater or to become the president of America is greater. Which one is?
Now even then, if you try,
materialistic thing also is
see,
pursue for a certain
system.
So you get it.
And you may not, true. Suppose you want to be the president of this country, no? But you can be a senator.
No.
At least, and then next go on, try.
What is it? You are not walking towards this. You are saying that when you are Jnanaval, you are not walking. When I say that you are thinking yourself and holding on to the concept I am Brahman. And holding on to the concept I am the
Because that is a sadhana period.
So that's
So long the mind is there. But when by sadhana your mind becomes purified and mind becomes mindless, then what happens? Then that is Brahman. So the mind, with the mind I am doing sadhana, and when the mind will be purified to that level, then it will be unbroken consciousness. That is the target and that is the truth. You cannot change that truth. Depends on our sadhana. And as you were saying that yes, you may, that's why suppose one in a classroom, if he feels that I'll get B grade. So he will be getting C. But if he expects that I'll be A plus. With that high goal, his sadhana will take him, inspire him to reach at least B or B plus.
But the fundamental difference is that Brahman is not the janya padartha.
That's I understand.
These are the janya padartha.
No, that's why you are talking. When you are talking in the world, that is janya padartha you are talking.
So
But then don't talk. If you say so, don't talk because mind, you are talking with the mind. So why are you talking? You are defiling the whole philosophy of Maya because you are talking, keeping the mind. Mind is there, that's why you are expressing. When you beyond mind, that is Brahman. That will be. So thinking of that, it is not that something, transformation will happen in Brahman, but transformation in you, who is thinking, I am not Brahman. There is the transformation. I am not Brahman, I am the body. I am not infinite, I am this limited. Their change will come.
Master's body was also changed into a feminine body. When he was thinking of, I am the associate of Krishna, thinking Hanuman, that also his physical change.
Yeah, that happens for the very, very powerful people if their thought is so serious.
That is what I mean. If God wishes, what cannot happen? If I am sincere,
No, it is not God, but I will say that if it is intense desire, intense activity, those changes are possible. Sri Ramakrishna's life is a example there. Anyhow, so let us go. So, kumbhākāśaḥ, 17th verse. Kumbhākāśaḥ mahākāśau, kumbhākāśaḥ mahākāśau, yathā bhinnau svarūpataḥ, yathā bhinnau svarūpataḥ, tathā brahmano bhedam, tathā bhedam, jñātvā pūrṇa-caitanye, jñātvā pūrṇa-caitanye. So kumbhākāśaḥ mahākāśau, the space in the kumbha, in the pot, and mahākāśaḥ, the space in the infinite, yathā bhinnau, as yathā bhinnau, it is not two, svarūpataḥ. Yes, apparently in bhava, in transactional world, you can say this is my room, that is your room. In transactional world. But in real sense, there is only one space. This world has been created imaginary. As it is so, but in essence they are one. Similarly, tathā ātma brahmano, Atman and Brahman, abhedam. The Atman means the capital self, Brahman means the cosmic consciousness. This and that are abheda. There is no distinction, no differentiation. Jñātvā, knowing this, here is the question. Knowing where we are all conflicting, all this argument coming, it is the question knowing. Knowing means so long your mind is there, we are reading this, means I am knowing. How do you know? So long your mind is there. So you are trying to understand through the mind. You will not understand. Knowing does not mean here actually intellectual knowing. Knowing means being one with it. Knowing means being to becoming. So knowing jñātvā, you become full, F-U-L-L. Jñātvā pūrṇa bhava Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, you feel so little, you feel yourself so petty, you feel that you are lost. Your son has died, and so it is meaningless, life is meaningless. No, no, no. Nothing has lost. In the infinity, nothing gets lost. He pūrṇa, Rabindranath Tagore sang this song. He pūrṇa tabo charonero kache, jaha kichu sab ache, 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 নাই নাই ভাব সে শুধু আমারি নিশিদিন ভাবিতাই. So, he pūrṇa, oh infinite. There is everything is there in you. There nothing is lost. One drop is not lost. In the infinite, the drop is a part of the infinite. So there is nothing. When you separate yourself, toma hote jabe hoiye bimukh apunar pane chai. When I separate myself from you, the whole infinite, and look at this petty eye, and there is my loss, there is my frustration, there is my fear, there is my anxiety. But when I look at my real nature, that I am part of the infinite, when you think of the infinite, merge into the infinite, then there is no loss. Mrityu, death, fear, these are all mere words. It has no entry there. That means be abhaya. Swami Vivekananda says, be fearless. How to be fearless? Think, you are not this petty body and mind. It is only a drop of the infinite ocean of consciousness. Raise your consciousness into the level of that Satchidananda level, Brahman level, Atman level, capital S. We live in small s. What you write? Myself, no? When you write, S is small letter, no? But if you make it capital letter, that self is undying self. That is equal to the cosmic consciousness. That is cosmic Atman, Brahman. Tathā brahmano abhedam. Similarly, knowing abhedam jñātvā, knowing that this self is the cosmic self, knowing this, you become pūrṇa, become fulfilled, and pūrṇa-bhava-arjuna, you become fulfilled. So the translation says, as the space within the pitcher and the great space are non-different in their essential nature, likewise the self, capital, and Brahman are non-different. Knowing this, O Arjuna, become fully accomplished, fully pūrṇa. You become pūrṇa, accomplished, or fulfilled. 18th verse. nānā-dhāre yathā ākāśa, nānā-ādhāre yathā ākāśa, pūrṇa eko hi bhāsate, pūrṇa eko hi bhāsate, tathā upadhishu sarvatra, tathā upadhishu sarvatra, caitmā pūrṇa-nirdvaya, caitmā pūrṇa-nirdvaya. Nānā-ādhāre, in different parts, as the akāśa, the space, is full, and one full space is bhāsate, is manifesting. No? You keep 10 jars here. And the one space is inside and outside. Its space is only one. So, similarly, tathā upadheṣu, this is upadhi, these are called limiting. Upadhi means limiting adjunct. It is making us limited. The unlimited appears to be limited, thinking I am the body. It's juxtaposition. You juxtapose your little petty body-mind identity over it, over the consciousness, and you see that it is all limited. Tathā upadheṣu sarvatra. In all these upadhis, all these limiting adjuncts, cha eko ātma, only one ātma, the one self, capital S. Pūrṇa, it is full, it is saturated, overwhelmingly present. Nirdvaya, without any duality. That means, again the idea is hammered again and again, that one consciousness, like infinite space, with the 10 jars you keep, but space is the same everywhere. Size may be different, one may be big jar, one may be shape is different, size is different, but the space inside and outside, the space is undivided space. So similarly, I look different, you look different, cat do look different, dog do look different, elephant look different, but the consciousness in all of us is the same consciousness. Just few minutes, close your eyes and think this, you see. That's called Vedantic meditation. As think many jars are here of different shape and size, the space inside is the same space, and outside also same space. Similarly, these are all jars, several jars are here. That consciousness inside, same consciousness, same, as I give the example for driving the car, your same energy, you are putting the car back gear or front gear. Back gear, car moves backward. Don't blame the car. Don't blame the energy behind. Blame the gear. Which gear you wanted to give? Godward or worldwide? If you give this way, it will work that way. If you give that way, it will work the same way. But what is the driving force behind their car? What is the driving force behind all the lights and the heater and the cooler? The tiny light and this light, what is the difference? Same electricity. Volume is different, big size, reflection is different. But foundationally, it is all the same electricity. Behind a big, what you call the turbine, big engine with the tiniest motor, all run by the same electricity. So similarly, one consciousness is behind all the apparent manifestations. But our eyes get stuck into the outside. Only the jar. We don't see the space. We see the jar. Those who go for our Upanishad gives this idea. We look at the, the ornament shop. You go to the gold shop, shopping, ornaments. Your focus is on the design. Before weighing it, how much weight, you are not concerned about that. Your design is, you like the design, you jump onto it. But is there any difference in one design and the other design and the same, the content as gold? Gold content remaining same, your focus is on the object of design, that is upadhi. You are only focusing on the upadhi, limiting adjunct. That which is limiting your vision, you are holding on to that. I like this flower. I like this house. I like that. You like everything, but what you like, you do not know. You are saying that I like the house. You say that I like this design, I like that design. Now you like the gold, is the point. If there is no gold, no design. So it is all cosmic consciousness, is all Satchidananda Brahman or the Atman everywhere. Only it is limited by this external name form, that is Nāma-Rūpa. So 18th verse, the same idea, these are repeated. Why they give so many examples? Some people complain. Ramakrishna's Hridaya Ram complained to Ramakrishna. Mama, uncle, why do you say the same thing every day? Why don't you change your statement differently? So Ramakrishna says, rascal, I'll do whatever I like. What is that to you? But the question is that there is no true word. We boil all the scriptures, but to understand this simple thing which we are talking about, it takes life and life and life. We don't understand. We talk, we argue, we try to clarify, but we don't understand. Understand means it's a very difficult thing unless the mind, you kill the mind. You destroy the mind. Mano-nasha. This mind which is always only living in the duality, you have to kill that mano-nasha. By tathā-jnana. Mano-nasha tathā-jnana. Vasanakshaya. When it will come? When your desire of the heart will go away. Three should be practiced simultaneously. What is bringing my desire in my mind? The consciousness design, driving force, or taking me to the mundane things which will change tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You can go for that and spend the whole life. Matters little, it is your loss. Or you can use the same time for search for the truth, and you can be rich and richer in your spiritual life. So whatever you like, you like. So similarly here, this is the point to understand that spiritual practice needs very important manonas, vasanakshaya and tathā-jnana. Three should be practiced every day. This only tathā-jnana we are talking about. We have to do that manonas. That's why try to kill the mind, try to analyze the mind. Mind is the culprit and mind is the friend. Mano eva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayo. Mind is the cause of becoming your friend, and mind is your enemy. That which is get into the Atman, that will be your pure mind, and that takes you away from God. That is the impure mind. And impure mind will drive you like a crazy guy, like a slave in the world, running for little love, little affection, little smile, little sweetness, little that. And how many smiles we saw in our life? Did it fill our heart? No. Still we still like to see some smile. But it does not work. And then we cry. But see the smile inside is eternal smile. That tathā, that truth, Satchidananda tathā. And that is the great capital self. Therefore, The verse says, just as one undivided space appears in various containers, so too the one whole self, devoid of twofold nature, appears everywhere in all limited objects. So too the one whole self, one absolute self capital, which is devoid of twofold nature, ignorance and other things, appears everywhere in all limiting objects. That's why Swami Vivekananda said in the inspired talks that you see this table, but you see God first and then second table. You first see God. We are thinking, when shall I see God? And Swami Vivekananda is saying that you are first seeing the gold and then see the ornament. Imagine an ornament, there is no gold. Can there be any ornament? We call gold ornament. So gold should be substance. So Brahman is the substance. Consciousness is the foundation. And then you are seeing the name and form. So you see God first and you see the table. Exactly Vivekananda's word. First you see God and then you see the table. What do we think? We see the table only. Where is God? But why don't you see? Because of our mind. Mind dwells in the duality. Mind has been trained to see whatever visible universe is the only truth. There is nothing beyond. And spiritual science is teaching, no. Don't get confused with that. That one consciousness is behind that. Try to see the consciousness everywhere. To exemplify that, another verse. 19. Yathā dīpa-sahasreṣu, yathā dīpa-sahasreṣu, bunnhir eko hi bhasvaraḥ, bunnhir eko hi bhasvaraḥ, tathā sarva-śarīreṣu, tathā sarva-śarīreṣu, ekatām cit-sadavyayaḥ, cit-sadavyayaḥ. tathā sarva-śarīreṣu, tathā sarva-śarīreṣu, ekatām cit-sadavyayaḥ, ekatām cit-sadavyayaḥ. Yathā dīpa-sahasreṣu is giving example. You may 1,000 lamps. In those days, lamp in an earthen pot, they put some wig and oil. And we do in the Diwali time also we put that. Yathā, there may be thousands of such lamps. But bunnhi, the fire is the one fire. Thousands of lamps may be there, the fire is the same. Similarly, sarva-śarīreṣu, in all these bodies, he ātma, that the big self is the only one. And it is chit, it is of the nature of consciousness. It is sat, it is of the nature of reality, absolute reality. And abhaya, it is unbroken reality, imperishable reality. Everything is perishable in the world, but that is the only imperishable reality. And another verse also I read, then I will end. Sahasra-dhenuṣu kshiram, sahasra-dhenuṣu kshiram. You can join, chant what I am saying. Sahasra-dhenuṣu kshiram, sahasra-dhenuṣu kshiram, sarpir-ekam na vidyate, sarpir-ekam na vidyate, nānā-raṇi-prastareṣu, nānā-raṇi-prastareṣu, krishanur bheda-varjitaḥ, krishanur bheda-varjitaḥ. Sahasra-dhenuṣu, thousands of cows are there, no? Kshiram, the milk. Ekam, that milk is only one. Kshiram. Sarpi, they are saying, okay, milk may be different, but they are saying sorpi means clarified butter. When you milk it and butter comes, butter is the same. So, similarly, nānā-raṇi-prastareṣu. Nānā means many, raṇi-prastareṣu in flintstone. The people used to put fire touching flintstone. Krishnau bheda-varjite. Krishna means here fire. Fire in the flint is remaining the same. Eh? Oh, sorry, Krishna. Krishna means black. Krishanu. Krishanu, fire, bheda-varjite. Bereft of distinctions. Bereft of distinctions, the fire remains the same. So, though the form remains another. Nānā-raṇi-prastareṣu, various types of flint stones when you can find the same fire everywhere. So, these are the different examples to understand that milk and clarified butter are same and one and not different in thousands of cows. Fire is the same without any distinction in flintstones of various types. Okay, so we end here today, 20 verse, then we'll read the other. So you have any question for 5 minutes?
You said you must kill the mind. But the instrument to kill the mind is the mind?
Yeah, pure mind with the impure mind. Like Ramakrishna gave the example, one thorn pricks in our feet, we take another thorn to pick out that old thorn which has entered and throw away both. So, with the pure mind, with the analytical mind, our dull mind, which is so much engrossed in that ignorance, cannot make any distinction between the two, the consciousness and the eternal and the non-eternal. So we need to help a mind. And kill the mind means kill that mind which is in avidya, in ignorance. When the mind becomes pure, then the mind then becomes mindless. And that is the state we call kill the mind, and destroy the mind. But we cannot function without the mind. Without the mind you cannot do meditation. Without the mind I cannot talk. This analysis, what they are suggesting, we cannot do without the mind. So mind is a tool. But that tool is not being properly utilized. So, but that in our mind, good tendencies, bad tendencies. So we'll have to kill the bad tendencies with the good tendency. Similarly, highest Vedantic thought with that which is lower than that, which is body, mind connected, we will have to work with that. And then when the mind will be extremely pure, it will see God everywhere. Even in intellectually, suppose we are talking about the pot and space. As many times we saw thought, a little clarity comes. Yes, space is I never thought that way, but space is the space, same space. See, it is penetrating a little bit into our mind. Mind is accepting this idea. So the consciousness in me, really, there is something, You see, nowadays robotic age. Robot is doing all this. Robot is getting and going somewhere, entering someone and killing and destroying and then coming back. No? But robot is functioning by its own power. What is the power behind the robot? This is all robots. Run by what? All the computers are running. Run by what? Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi is there or not? Wi-Fi everywhere. But you don't know, you will need a password. Until you put the password, your Wi-Fi will not connect. To get that Wi-Fi, you need to pay money or make some friendship with someone who has a Wi-Fi, to go to a guru who has an Wi-Fi, he can lend the Wi-Fi for you or give the password. Or you purchase yourself. You are capable of doing that. Have your money, get it purchased. That means you prepare yourself by spiritual practice. So this mind is, spiritual life is nothing but mind. And the whole world is nothing but mind. One person falls in love with each other, two mind don't finding the negative or something wrong. The same two people finding fault with other, seeing something in the mind, creates the distinction and creates all disaster. So it's the mind only. So purify the mind, that is the lesson of the... Or meditation is what? Meditation, you think of some pure entity in your heart. That's the meditation, no? Simply think of light or think of some divine entity, Christ, Buddhas, Ramas, Krishnas, like that, Ramakrishnas. So thinking of that pure, your mind becomes pure. Mind is like it's called like a water. You put into the cup, it takes the shape of the cup. You put in a pot, it takes the shape of a pot. You put it in a flat tray, it takes the form of a tray. Don't blame mind. But where you are keeping your mind is the important. Are you keeping in God? It will take a God shape. If you take in a vulgar thought, a vulgar mind will take the vulgar shape. So don't blame mind, but our way of putting the mind in which thought, which ideas is the cause of all spiritual progress or spiritual retardation from spiritual life. Okay, so some question has come. If everything happens exactly as per the wish of God, then is not my negative thinking also ordained by Him? Yes, great question. We can escape by that way. Actually so, if everything happens exactly as per the wish of God, then is not my negative thinking also ordained by God? Yes. But do you think that you are egoless? Do you really believe that God is doing everything? Then nothing happens to you, nothing will touch you. But when I do good things, I do. Bad things, God has done. That will not do. So therefore, that is very true. Exactly what has been said is correct. But everything happens exactly as per God's will. But that's a very pure mind can understand. There is good also by done, bad also. You have no ownership there. A child does not take any ownership of any good, bad action. Child may sometimes, there is a knife or something, child does not know, and he was playing, and pushed on her mother's hand or something. So it bleeds. No one takes him to jail because you have killed your mom or did something wrong to your mom, because you have no sense of identity. So, yes, when we will be egoless, then it is true. But before that, good karma, bad karma, I am doing through my impure mind, that idea is good, then that will save me and help me to improve my character. So then why are you asking me to think of positively as if it is uncontrollable? Yes, we may try to be positive, but we may fail. That time we ask for grace, higher power to help me, and that helps us. In our whole life, someone comes in our life to help us. Whether we know or not know, in our every phase of our life, when we are in difficulty, unknown person comes. Yes, God's help. But we have to try our best, and then God's help can be understood. Is seeing clearly in the mind's eye related to or byproduct of negation? Is seeing clearly in the mind's eye related to or byproduct of negation? I don't get this point clearly. Is seeing clearly. Seeing clearly means no ignorance, Seeing clearly means mind has become so pure, you see the presence of God everywhere. That is the seeing. Yeah. It is not the power of negation, rather it is power of positive thinking. Negation means you can say, negation of course you can say, if you say I am not the body, not the mind, that negation. But you have to understand that positive thinking, I am Atman, I am Atman. That's why Vedanta takes both the aspect. One is says, I am not this, and another song is they say, I am this. I am not the body, I am the Atman. I am not the mind, I am the pure consciousness. No? Not this, but that. That's why Shankaracharya's prayer we do. Mano buddhi ahankara cittani naham. I am not this, not the body, not the mind, etc. Chidananda Rupa. I am Chidananda Rupa. So negative and positive. Both ways we try to clear our mind.
It seems, Swamiji, that now when you talk like this, that it's almost as if consciousness is always looking at consciousness itself.
Now consciousness and awareness, you can make it two division in that. Okay. We are conscious, I am conscious of you.
Yes.
This is through the sense perception. Consciousness, eternal consciousness reflected through our ego, intellect, mind, and senses, etc., etc. Diffuse, then it comes. But one is without any covering, only the Atman. So these are the two distinctions. If I approach a guru and become a disciple, will I not lose my individuality and personal freedom? True, but what is individuality, you have to understand, really. Why you will be going to a disciple not to be a slave, but you are going to a teacher to be free. If that controls you so much that your life is controlled, don't go to that guru. Guru will teach you how to be free from bondage. And if you see that he is guiding you in that direction, and yes, obey him like a slave, because it is for your own spiritual benefit. No, you need not have to think. Guru's word, you have to listen to every word of Guru to practice. Why? That will make you free. But if you think that he is asking money from you, or he is trying to control your personal life, that is not a Guru's work. We go to Guru for what? For self-knowledge, for growing in devotion and love. And that Guru's instruction you have to follow in toto, you be a slave there. But not to that Guru who is using you for some purpose. Why will you go to that Guru? So you have to decide that. That's why I said that if it is necessary, a spiritual life, then you be slave of him. That's the sadhana, in our monastic life also. We go to our Guru, earlier tradition. You have to serve your Guru day and night. And then he will be kind enough to give you the spiritual wisdom. For spiritual wisdom you are slaving, but not for material something. So that is to be differentiated. Another question, why do people do wrong things or deviate from an ideal behavior? Is it because they are born crooked, or is it because despite being aware about right and wrong, they simply cannot restrain their urges? The same question, why people do wrong? Because we do wrong because we don't understand. We do wrong because our buddhi directs in a wrong direction. Everyone is driven by his own buddhi, intellect, and mind. As the mind dictates, we are all slave of the mind. We must have to follow what mind teaches, or our understanding. My understanding is this is good for me, and then you move in that direction. So people do right or wrong because as their buddhi. That's why our prayer is that Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Oh Lord, please guide our intellect in the right direction, to the direction of perfection. If possible, please leave stream or your Sanskrit classes. If possible, please live stream your Sanskrit classes. Need to learn. What?
She is requesting the Sanskrit class also live streaming. So if we write to Hollywood@vedanta.org, then we can contact with the Sanskrit teacher. It's given online, but not live stream. He can get the online class link by writing to Hollywood@vedanta.org. He wants to learn Sanskrit.
No.
So Sanskrit class
Can be given like that. Okay, we have not done it like that, and the teacher is also, nowadays we are doing in the person, but that has not started. Then I understand you are willing to learn that way. We have not decided yet, and we cannot say anything now to change the policy or to change the thing. Okay? Hare Baba, time হয়ে গেছে. What is the difference between a peaceful mind and inner stillness, which is silence itself, are the same? Difference between the peaceful mind. Peaceful mind, yes, of course peaceful mind is which is not ruffled by the desires, and mind is like wave. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra says mind is citta-vritti. When mind becomes peaceful, many of the waves are flat. So that means mind does not get irritated by the things of the external world. So stillness, or when you really go back to your God consciousness, mind, yes, tathā drashtu svarūpataḥ. Patanjali says, really, when your mind will be still, then the truth will reveal in the heart. They are almost same, right? Duryodhana said, I know what is right and what is wrong, I engage in vice. So are all evil people slaves of their own mind and compulsive tendencies? Yes, we are born with our compulsive tendencies, called the vasana, samskara. Samskara is the driving force. That's why it drives. In the same home, look at that, same parents, 2 or 3 children. One child is very calm, does not do harm, thinks for others, always goes to help the sister or the brother. Another is always poking and punching and feeding. And so, how do you differentiate? It is a tendency, he is born with that, he is forcing him to be like that, another is becoming like that. Yes, we are mostly driven by our past impressions. That's why we are to work on the mind to make it not provocated by my past impulses, but to move with the energy for thinking of God and purifying the mind.
But it's not about his question is to have pity for Duryodhana, not to be terrified by him. But we are not terrified by Duryodhana.
Oh, last line I didn't go. Should not one pity on them? Yes, you can be pitiful. But the question is that if you learn something out of that, Duryodhana, what he has said is not important. Important is my life. Duryodhana is gone, dead. Their words are here. But problem is my problem. Think that how I can get out of this problem. Should I be following the Duryodhana's path, or shall I follow the Arjuna's path? So,
I think what he is asking, like that this type of people who cannot conquer themselves, instead of being terrified by them, have pity for them.
Yeah. Then good people always be pitiful. Good people always, even the, who has killed 10 people, people become pitiful and then condone them, and they come out and stab another person. So, but that is not the ideal. We should not hate anyone. You can say that. You have to see the goodness, God in everyone. That is the point. Even that's why it is said, hate the sin, not the sinner. So we should like, yes, but because that will inflict me. If I support the bad thing as being pitiful, then I am supporting something which my mind is taking it in wrong direction. So for my welfare, spirituality is for my personal benefit, which will give me illumination and which will also help others to be getting the effect of that good in life. Anyhow, Jai Ma. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. And tomorrow will be gospel class, so 7:30. Okay, thank you.